Project Sapient is a podcast meant to engage our brothers and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy. Some fucking good tunes we got going on, dude.
Hell yeah.
I love our music.
Oh, we're all good.
I love our music. I love our articles. Damn, we got a fucking good one that we're going to go over today, dude. I love this one that you wrote. First, we want to thank our supporters, HavokJournal.com, JimJunkies.com, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, Eagle Eye Firearms, MA.com, ODKit.com, GunTrack.app, Houle.com. And we want to thank all of you for listening, making us the #1 law enforcement and military podcast on the planet. Thank you. Smile for the camera. Guys, listen, YouTube is still giving us shit, right? So I know a lot of you still watch it on YouTube, but get on there and please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be going to Rumble pretty soon. I'm trying to figure some shit out with corporate with them.
Yep.
But we're going to be going to Rumble, so we might even drop YouTube completely.
Good.
So
fuck them.
Yes, sir. We have an awesome article written by Aymans.
Yes.
Let's get it up there.
That's what she said.
Giggity.
Giggity.
So, full disclosure, you sent me this article, and you know I love these topics.
Yep.
And I didn't read it purposely so that we can get my initial fucking reaction on these things.
See, there's going to be one of those.
It's going to be, going to be one of those.
It's going to be shocking. Shocking.
Shocking.
Well, maybe not so much shocking for us, but
shocking for people that don't hear us.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, really quickly.
Yep.
I've gotten some text messages from people that asked me to tone it down a little bit. We're not going to tone it down.
Yeah, no.
And as a little bit of we're going to throw a fishing line out there to our viewers, to our listeners, we might be getting in the possibility of having TV viewership.
Yeah, buddy.
So we just want to let you guys know, kind of, I'm winking at the camera like a creep.
This is, guys, just don't have your children watch us. It's bad.
It's not bad. Come on. I'm just winking.
Winking at a fucking camera.
I know people are watching. All right. Article's up. This is how foreign regimes are infiltrating the U.S. right now. Yeah.
So I initially wrote this. This was back June 3rd, 2020. Mm-hmm. And so every year, Havok Journal recirculates certain articles that gained a lot of steam and whatnot. So it just happened to be one of the ones that just came back, and I wanted to really talk about this because it's something that's even prevalent today. It's still happening. It's nothing.
It's getting worse. I think
it's getting worse. So. When I wrote this was after George Floyd and all that and a lot of the protests and everything. But I took a few quotes out of some foreign news agencies, and I want you guys to really think about it and listen to this and think about where this is coming from. Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the first one. From the windows of the State Department in Washington, D.C., you can see carnage unfolding between police officers and protesters who have something to say about surviving in squares. However, international hypocrisy is still very much a thing. I wonder whether he, meaning
Mike Pompeo.
Yeah, Mike Pompeo, will tell his guests about U.S. achievements in the sphere of human rights protection. This is the Russian news agency. All right, let's continue. Next quote. In recent days, the American people poured into streets to protest against the death of George Floyd, a black man who was unarmed and was killed by U.S. police, putting pressure on his throat until he choked. Despite the cruel murder of another black man and days of brutal suppression of protests in the U.S. Western governments, Western governments kept silent and forget their human rights fever. This is the Iranian Foreign Ministry.
Iranians?
Wrote this on his Twitter account. So imagine their reaction if it was a non-Western country. But the mere fact that it's the ministry that's saying this shit, you're like, really? So and then they added, U.S. police have reportedly attacked journalists 100+ times. The U.S. regime attempts to intimidate and silence reporters who cover the George Floyd protests.
Stop. This is the Iranian Foreign Ministry.
Yes.
Do you know how many fucking college kids probably saw that?
Yeah.
And now fell in love with the Iranian Foreign Ministry?
Oh, yeah, no, there's more.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
But wait. Shamu won.
All right. Another quote. Hidden in a bunker, U.S. president wants media away while he tries to dominate the protesters. But make no mistake, the world is watching. This is from the Islamic Republic News Agency in Iran. So here's the thing. Like, I'm reading these headlines, and the narrative is almost the same in the U.S., right? Police brutality, protesters and rioters are taking up headlines. I seldomly hear or read about a growing issue, which is the cyber warfare that's been going on. Misinformation, decisiveness caused by Russia, China, Iran, and other regimes. So I just provide a couple of the quotes, and it's kind of not revealing. I mean, here's the thing: me being in the military, going overseas, and then working, being a cop, and kind of having the wherewithal that we know cyber warfare. The other side's winning that.
Mm-hmm.
They are very, very good, and I'm going to go into some stats in a little bit, and you'll see why that side is winning the whole cyber warfare aspect of it, because they know that taking the United States head on militarily,
it's not going to work.
Is going to fuck them up. But they know they can target economics.
They can target a lot more than economics.
Well, yeah, economics, society. There are other ways to get to us, people. It's not what you think.
Keep
military,
talking. I'm looking something up.
Yeah. It's not like military versus military everywhere. No, there's a whole nother side of warfare that no one sees.
Yeah,
and that we see all the time. Boston Marathon bombing, a type of warfare. September 11th, a type of warfare. There's a reason why it takes so long for a terrorist attack to happen in the U.S. because I don't want to say like we're that good or whatever, but it's the complacency.
Yeah.
People forget that we are still fighting in countries that you never hear about.
Yep.
People like, I have friends in the certain communities that I won't name, but they are out there fighting.
Yep.
Working, collaborating, infiltrating. You name it, they're doing it. But again, this shows. Like anything that happens in the U.S., they will soak it up and they will throw out their own propaganda, meaning the other side.
Absolutely.
And if you think for 1 second that is not happening,
you're crazy.
Yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. And this isn't me being tinfoil about it.
It's not.
It's fact.
No,
this shit is fact.
This is what people need to realize, right? Is that there's a lot of stuff that we would see as being sexy in a wartime situation, right? Iraq, for example.
Oh, yeah. Shock and awe.
Shock and awe and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But people don't realize is that there was a cyber aspect to it. There was a psychological psyops. Psyops aren't anything sci-fi.
No.
Right? No. How many leaflets did we drop on the Iraqi people?
Tons.
And a lot of the leaflets were, without getting into crazy shit, but a lot of the leaflets were by territory, because you knew, because of intel, you knew the dynamics of the territory, you know what kind of families were living where, and they would drop leaflets and say, hey, get out or X, Y, and Z. This was all psychological warfare. This, what you're talking about, is psychological warfare. 100%.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Here's another one where another sort of quote, but this individual, Brett Schaefer, a media digital disinformation fellow at the German Marshall Fund of the United States Alliance for Secure and Democracy, this is his quote: "Russia is doing right now what Russia always does, but it's not the first time we've seen this, and that's not the first time we've seen China fully engaged in a narrative battle that doesn't directly affect Chinese interests.
Absolutely.
110%. I'm going to get into another quote from China, but first, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, which kind of...
Is this on the article?
Yes. Yeah, so it's right after the China... Russia's doing Russian things right now. Wherever you're at.
Russia is doing now. Okay. I get it. Yep.
So Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said Sunday that the state authorities were hit with a cyber attack as law enforcement prepared to defuse protests in Minneapolis and St. Paul, the epicenter of the unrest. Before our operation kicked off last night, a very sophisticated denial of service attack on all computers was executed.
Yep.
This is not somebody sitting in the basement. This is way too sophisticated.
It's professional.
It's professional.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like, okay, ready? China. Black Lives Matter and their human rights should be guaranteed.
China
on Twitter.
Who's just executed 1 million fucking people.
Here's the thing. Meanwhile, China, one of the worst in regards to human rights for minorities. For example, their Muslim population are placed in detention camps, and it is estimated approximately 2 million Muslims detained without trial. Yeah, okay. Without trial. They're being executed, but this is all part of their propaganda machine in the U.S.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, is the U.S. doing the same thing overseas? Absolutely.
Of course we are.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Here's the difference, though, that I see.
I found that thing I was looking for. Go on.
Okay. The thing I see is overseas, our propaganda, if you want to call it cyber warfare, whatever.
Yeah.
It's being done to majority illiterate people who are so insulated in their regimes, they don't know what's out there.
Exactly.
I remember talking to Iraqis, right, on the Iraqi state television at the time.
Guys, I'm sorry, but you're going to hear some background stuff. It's just me copying and pasting. It's worth putting this on.
Yeah. No, go on. So we where was I getting at?
Back in Iraq.
Oh, back in Iraq.
Yeah.
I remember talking to the Iraqi army, Iraqi police, and various civilians in the population, and they would tell me that one of the American TV shows they would watch was Baywatch. That was the only thing they were allowed to watch.
Why?
Just to paint the picture of what the way America is.
Okay.
So they said they were like, Baywatch, like
they like the boobs and all that stuff too.
And it's funny, and I tell them, I'm like, that is nothing like what it is.
That's not reality, guys.
Sorry, guys, that's not what goes on in America. You can't go to there's no such thing as Baywatch.
Well, it does in my head.
yeah, exactly. So and here's the thing, right? So I looked up the study, and it's amazing. From the Rand Corporation. It stated Russia has spent $1.1 billion on its propaganda machine in 2014. In 2015, it focused more on foreign-focused media. Russia divides its foreign-focused media into 4 categories. They are political, financial, social, and conspiracy.
Yep.
All these Russian bots that you see on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, sparking the flames.
Absolutely.
Just fanning the flame.
Absolutely.
Just saying little things here and there.
Just enough
to make some idiot be like, you know what? John Smith is right.
Yes.
Even though the profile picture is only one, and there's nothing in their bio, and they have nothing in their Facebook page that would say that's a legit person.
It shows you, and I'm not dogging everybody, right? Because there's enough people. I would say half the country is awake and aware.
Yeah.
Right. There's enough people that we know what these bots fucking look like.
But it's not enough, though.
It's not.
It's not enough.
It's not, because it's driving popular opinion. It's driving policy. It drove the U.S. presidential election.
Exactly.
For crying out loud.
Exactly. And it's this type of. But the thing is, though, I am not surprised. I remember, again, coming from the Middle East and being in Africa and all that, and the civil wars that I went through. I remember certain talks where, certain imams or whatever you want to call them, terrorist leaders, they even I believe it was Saudi Arabia, one of the princes, I forgot exactly which one because there's hundreds of them, but they always said that the way to take down a Western government like the U.S. is through economic and social means.
Absolutely.
They know they can't take us on head. Again, like I said, militarily, we will fuck them up in ways that they will never. Like, we have the most advanced weaponry. We have awesome guys, soldiers, Marines, seamen, and Air Force, Coast Guardians. I'll give you guys a little prop here and there. All right, Coast Guard. I mean, here's the thing: we have advanced shit. Now, mindset, we'll talk about that a different day. But we have the tools.
Yep.
All right. We have, and they know that. Why in Iraq we would get ambushed all the time? It's because they know if they fight us head on, we would fuck them up in, again, ways that they wouldn't even imagine.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's some fucking Art of War Sun Tzu shit.
Oh, yeah.
They like, the stuff's good for thousands of years, right?
Turn the population on itself. Yeah. I mean, how are you going to destroy a population
internally?
Internally.
Fuckhead said it. Twin Towers. Fucking Osama bin Laden said it.
Yeah.
He publicly said it. We're going to destroy the United States from within.
Yeah, exactly. Turn people on each other.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Where are you in the article before we get into this shit?
I am at the Rand Corporation.
The Rand?
Yeah.
So it's towards the end.
Is it? No, I still got. Yeah. So right there. Yeah. Is that the Rand?
This one? Yeah, the Rand Corporation. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
All right. So, gonna go over now the four focuses that the Rand Corporation put together, or from Russia. Mm-hmm. Political. According to the study, political content aims to tarnish democratic leaders or undermine institutions through allegations of voter fraud, election rigging, and political corruption. Where have we heard that? This is back in 2014, 2015, people.
I'm like scared to say things because a lot of people that I know that listen to this channel have always called me the conspiracy nut.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a conspiracy until it's not.
Well, here's a legit company.
Fucking right.
Rand is a fucking well-known intel machine and corporation. Yep. They did this whole study. So, financial. The Kremlin's financial message erode citizen and investor confidence in foreign markets, positing the failure of capitalist economies by stoking fears over the national debt, attacking institutions such as the Federal Reserve. Mm-hmm. They say it right in it. Social. Russia targets social tension by emphasizing and leveraging police brutality, racial tension, protests, anti-government standoffs, and alleged government misconduct in order to undermine the fabric of society. Lastly, conspiracy. Conspiracy theories stoke fears of global calamity while questioning the expertise of anyone who might calm those fears, such as by promoting fears of the U.S. government instituting martial law or nuclear war between Russia and the United States. Here's the thing. There's a common theme here. Undermining the United States of America. They're
doing it to a point where, okay, so think about it historically, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to conquer Genghis Khan, for example, right? Yeah. Or anybody in history. You would conquer the land and conquer the territory without burning it to the ground. Because that was the whole point, right?
Yes.
Hitler did it.
Yes.
He would conquer the territory. He killed as many as he needed to kill.
Yep.
But you need the land and the territory to be a resource.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't destroy the United States completely.
No.
You can't let it burn to the fucking ground.
No.
You have to bring it to the edge and bring it to the point. Why? From a business sense. We're too valuable to the world.
Yeah.
In terms of how much debt that we have out there that we're selling.
Well, that's the thing. I know I've heard that if China, let's say China wants to cut us off or whatever, they would be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Economically.
And but so would we. It would be like a mutually assured destruction type of thing.
Exactly.
Right? And that's one of the good things that the United States had done, and more props to the United States because it's our country and we love it.
Yeah.
They instituted the dollar for the global oil trade.
Yep.
Right? And we started selling our debt. Mm-hmm. So as much as these people are adversaries, they still need us.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they can't control how we operate.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if I had, me in my business dealings, if I have competition, right, I'd rather work with that competition and sneakily get them to where I want them to be as opposed to shut them down.
Well, that's exactly what goes on. I mean,
exactly.
that's exactly with foreign regimes and stuff like that. They know, again, if they're going to take on the U.S. head to head, it's not going to end well.
Right.
A lot of people will die on both sides.
Yeah.
And U.S. will come on top. That's just the way it is.
Strategically, it's not worth anybody doing.
Exactly. And we have become, as people, as humans, we have become so connected that an all-out war would hurt us more than help us.
Of course it would.
So that they came up with this game plan of cyber warfare, and I saw this back in 2005, 2006, 2007, and I started to say to myself, I'm like, we might need to take a look at our cyber warfare policies and see what the hell is going on, because you could see it and you could feel it, and the unfortunate part is the president's after put it in the back burner.
Yeah. They didn't think it was that big of an issue.
They didn't think,
right.
and it is such a huge thing. Here's the thing, simple shit like even policing, right? We see propaganda all the time.
All the time.
With the gangs, fucking whatever. Fucking Karen down the street who hates the police decides to post a police interaction that never really happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? She'll type on even a Chad will type on Facebook.
Chadley.
This motherfucking cop, blah, blah, blah. And what would happen? Boom. It starts up again.
Yeah.
And there are so many times where we see it on our jobs of how that propaganda in the smallest sense works.
Absolutely.
Never mind this type of shit.
And now it's accelerated from 2005 because now you have social media.
Oh my God, yeah.
Where you're reaching everybody at an instant.
Yep.
Somebody in Russia can come up, or China, or whoever these people may be. It could be from fucking
North
anywhere.
Korea.
It could be Taiwan for all we know, right? North Korea, whoever. They could get a source of information to Backyard Becky in a second.
Oh, absolutely.
In a second.
Absolutely.
And that would go viral within a minute.
You see these emails. Click here to win your $1 million, whatever. Who do you think they're sending that?
Exactly.
It's not just scammers.
Now, think about the psychological aspect of it, right? Without getting too Jordan Peterson on this shit, which he just actually had an episode with a Dr. Malice on it. Guys, listen to that episode. It's fucking freaky.
Okay.
Talking about this stuff, including 4chan and 8chan and all that. Do you know about that?
No.
I'll tell you about it offline, but I know a lot of people know what it is. But he gets into the psychology behind all of this social media shit, right? And Twitter, for example, right? When I first said this shit 10 years ago, people would think that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when Twitter started blowing up, people thought that I was batshit. And then the CEOs came out on all kinds of videos and said, yeah, this is the way we did it.
Yeah.
A small example, just so you guys realize this isn't conspiracy. Twitter, when you open up your Twitter and you get your notifications, it has a pause. Yeah. And that pause was built specifically to get the dopamine dumped into your brain. And what do they call it? The casino pause. They base that pause off of you pulling the lever and hearing the ding, 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 ding after 3 seconds.
Yep.
That was engineered. Yeah. We're giving all these social media weapons to everybody in the world to take advantage of us.
Oh my God. They saw how gullible people are in the U.S. that they're willing to believe anything on social media.
Right.
Half these fucking memes that people don't realize it. They're made by Russian bots, China bots, like whatever. You know, they'll and it will go viral because they know what they're doing. They know how to do it.
It's not only that. Think about what happened with President Trump during the whole TikTok fiasco.
Yeah.
The reason he wanted to get rid of TikTok, a lot of people don't realize this. The reason he wanted to get rid of TikTok was because TikTok, once you put it on your phone, is accessing all of your metrics.
China-based company.
Exactly.
That's why I don't have TikTok on my phone.
Yeah. Right? So they're accessing every single one of your metrics. What's one of the first things in warfare?
Yeah.
You want to get as much intel on your enemy.
Yeah, know your enemy.
Whether he's a 16-year-old or a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
You're getting every single piece of metrics. How do you think they infiltrated just recently, guys? And you know this. How do they think they infiltrated the pipelines in Texas?
Oh yeah,
it was a phishing email.
Yep.
And one schmuck opened the email, gave them fucking access. They installed.
And they got in
malware.
Yeah.
But how did they get that guy? They got that guy through social media metrics.
Yeah.
Like, you got to understand how much we're giving the enemy.
Oh, we're giving them a lot. You know, it's both hilarious and sad because
it's sad.
It's like we opened ourselves up. You know, we're like with social media and everything and TikTok and whatever fucking new thing that would come out. It's like give us everything. We believe everything. Whatever you want to tell us, yes, we'll do it. So I know you got something up. It looks like you found that you want to talk about.
I do.
So go ahead.
Are you good with your article?
I'm not. Well, for now, do you want me to go to the end of my article and then
go to the end and then let's go to this?
All right. Okay. So
because then we can always come back to it.
Okay. So now continuing on with the article. So at the time when I wrote this, take a look at what happened around us with the death of George Floyd. Again, this article was written a year ago, so keep that in mind. So yes, it was tragic, uncalled for, and the investigation is moving quickly. And I have seen all over social media pictures of bricks and pallets in major cities across the United States.
I remember one in Boston. Go on.
The claim to be used by protesters against police. According to NBC, a video of police in Boston unloading bricks from a vehicle has been viewed millions of times. The person who first posted it has since taken it down, saying can't be sure whether it does indeed show officers leaving bricks at a protest site, as she first suggested. That hasn't stopped others from repeating the claim. NBC News now verified the footage of police unloading bricks at it was at the police station.
Yep.
Not even on the streets. It was at a PD, whatever.
We're not going to name the department.
No. It was at a PD. In the Now, which is run by Russian television. Russian-owned state television reaches out to millennials by publishing videos that are critical to the U.S., and they often play on tension in the U.S. If you go on their Facebook page right now, you can see what they are posting.
Yep.
So go ahead. I mean, just fucking do research. Look into these. So I provided a merely small glimpse of these regimes, and there is so much more I could have written and talked about, and we would have gone for hours talking about this because there is so much out there that people are not seeing. And it's like these regimes are using social media, emails, whatever. This isn't about George Floyd. They could give a fuck. They don't
The Iranian government, the most oppressive fucking people on the planet.
One of the most,
cared about one black guy?
Yeah, no.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, no. I mean, here's the thing. George Floyd protesters are peaceful. They are talking to government officials, the ones that are actually legitimately protesting and all that. What we are seeing is a faction or factions of groups that are undermining the security of the United States. They are trying to drive fear down the population's throats. So I leave you with this last sort of talk is, so when consuming news, ask yourself if you are sure you know what you're reading to be true. Could it be another Russian, Iranian, Chinese bot that is stoking the fire? These issues that are not being talked about by mainstream media. If it is talked about, it is drowned out by the noise. And really, really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hear about cyber warfare on, like, other than the Texas thing that happens or miscellaneous, like every once in a while there'll be a report of something. And it's like, that shit happens daily. Daily, by the minute, dude. Exactly. I mean, just in my PD emails alone, we get these phishing scams, which obviously we're deleting, whatever. But it's like, how many of those are foreign regime driven? You know what it is? I hate coming back to it, but the 9/11 Commission, for example, right? The main, and people, I tell this to people, you can look it up. It's the first fucking paragraph in the 9/11 Commission's report, and they still don't believe it. Why read? Right? But why? It's almost like people want to be sheltered. They want to be cocooned. And in a sense, they want to be controlled. Oh my God. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because they feel helpless when they're not controlled. Yes. The 9/11, back to the point, the 9/11 Commission, the first reason that they stated was a lack of imagination. Yeah. A lack of all the sexy science and political science and intel and this and that. The number one reason was a lack of imagination. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm sure it went by somebody's desk and they were like, "Fuck, not happening. That would never happen." Again, break it down to simple things like when we get a rash of B&Es into cars in a neighborhood. Yep. Well, that'll never happen here. And then sure as shit, everybody's car in that neighborhood gets hit. It's like, it does happen. We live in a world, I say it all the time, and I'm not trying to be a glass half empty type of guy, right? But we live in a world that's still dangerous. Oh my God, yeah. We have not socially evolved. No.
If anything, we've socially evolved backwards.
Oh, now, well, absolutely.
More primal.
We've, I think, gone back 50 years.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
We're more primal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're more dependent. Think about, and I'm not dogging anybody, but think of the rise in how, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she was saying, I need to find a therapist. I have to look online for one because I can't find any because they're all booked. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, this person needs to talk to somebody and can't find somebody because of the rise in it.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I've had to deal with more sections, which is the mental health holds that we, as law enforcement, we deal with. I've dealt with more sections this year alone
than all of your career?
Than in my entire career.
I believe it.
Than my entire career. I can't believe it.
What is that telling you, Ayman? That's telling you that we're losing control of things.
Yeah.
Did you see on Twitter, whatever her name is, I forget her name, the White House press secretary?
Yeah, I forget her name.
Right, I think I sent you the article, the video. She's talking about the pandemic. Yeah. I get there's an aspect that they want to get as many people vaccinated as possible.
Yeah.
But they literally come out and they say things like, we're going to come door to door to make sure that you're vaccinated.
That's some Third Reich shit.
Is it not? How are people supposed to read that? Even if that's not what she meant, because I know there's an aspect of there, just giving the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
There's an aspect that she didn't really mean that.
Yeah.
Right? And that Joe, as much as I don't like him, doesn't mean that.
But again, you're going to have people in the population
that are going to, people in the population, I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No. Well,
no.
Just like when when in our state, when the governor put out no large parties or whatever, and my own mother was worried during Thanksgiving dinner, will the police really show?
Yes.
And I'm like, no, they're not going to show.
But she's the woman's worried.
Exactly. That was a legit worry on her mind. She didn't want to get the family arrested or in trouble. I'm like, no, because again, they come from they come from a country where that shit actually does happen.
Exactly. They it's not a fear. It's not like you're exaggerating. They've seen it.
No, they've seen it.
They've lived it. And that's where people don't understand how fucking backwards we're getting in this country by allowing this shit.
Yeah.
By not standing up to we can get into a million different topics.
Oh my God, yeah.
But the one thing I want to put up, okay, it falls directly in line with what you were talking about. It didn't occur to me as you were doing it.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if I've sent this to you.
No, I've never seen it. So I'm like you. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it.
You go right ahead.
Let me get a little closer. Let me put some music on for this one. Oh, boy. Guys, Congressional record.
Okay.
This isn't conspiracy. I didn't make this up. Extension remarks of the Honorable Hurling of Florida in the House of Representatives, January 10th, 1963.
Okay.
We have a lot of time to go over this shit.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of time. Communist goals to infiltrate the United States.
Okay.
Number 1, U.S. acceptance of coexistence and the only alternative to atomic war. That's great. Number 2, U.S. willingness to capitulate as preference to engaging in atomic war. Hold on, let me open the bigger one so I could see it.
Yeah. yeah.
Fuck.
Open up the bigger one.
Where did it go? The PDF. There. Okay, here it is. Develop an illusion that the total disarmament by the United States would be demonstration of moral strength. These are all very vague things, right? But they're things that they're getting into.
Yeah.
Provide American aid to nations. Grant recognition of Red China, admission of Red China to the UN. Set up East and West Germany. That's fine. Allow all the Soviet satellites, individuals in the UN. Resist any attempt to outlaw the Communist Party.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is happening in fucking colleges right now?
Yeah, exactly.
The indoctrination of socialism and communism.
Yep.
Do away with all loyalty oaths. Oath takers are looked at as assholes right now.
Well, not just that. The Pledge of Allegiance is no longer really going on in schools from what I'm learning.
Really? Continue giving Russia access to the U.S. Patent Office. Hello?
Yeah.
Ready? Capture one or both of the political parties in the United States. That's number 15, you guys.
Interesting.
Use technical decisions of the courts to weaken basic American institutions by claiming their activities violate civil rights. What were you just saying?
Wow.
Right?
Holy shit. They had the playbook back in the 60s.
Get control of schools. Use them as transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda.
Oh my God.
Soften the curriculum. Get control of teachers' associations. Put the party line in textbooks. This is 1963, Ayman.
Holy shit.
Now, I'm telling you this. Do I seem like a nut? Or it's right here in black and white.
No, I got you, yeah.
Okay? Use student riots to foment public protests against programs or organizations which are under communist attack. Infiltrate the press. Get control of book review assignments, editorial writing, and policymaking positions. Let me make sure these guys can read all of these. We're at number 12. I'm going to the next page. This isn't a waste of time.
No, this is interesting.
This is fucking interesting. Ready?
Yep.
Gain control of key positions in radio, TV, and motion pictures.
Oh, my God.
Look at what China has done.
Yep.
China has bought most of Hollywood. Think about that.
Yeah.
Continue decrediting American culture by degrading all forms of artistic expression. An American communist cell was told to eliminate all good scripture from parks and buildings. These are all smaller things, right? Control art critics and directors of museums. That's big. Hitler did that. Eliminate all law governing obscenities by calling them censorship and a violation of free speech and free press. Look at number 24, guys. Break down cultural standards of morality by promoting, ready? Pornography and obscenity in books, magazines, motion pictures, radio, and TV. Look at the fucking numbers of Pornhub.
I know.
Look at all the sexualization of everything.
Yeah.
When you go into orientation in college,
Yep.
one of the first things that they give you is a list of 30 things that you can get yourself involved with sexually.
Jesus
Why?
Christ.
What does that have to do with learning and not number fucking 25 on this manifesto?
Wow.
Present homosexuality, degeneracy, and promiscuity as normal, natural, and healthy.
Yeah.
Again, back into that 30 things that you get as a freshman.
Yep.
Infiltrate the churches and replace revealed religion with social religion. Discredit the Bible and emphasize the need for intellectual maturity. Eliminate prayer. Discredit the American Constitution by calling it inadequate.
I think I've heard that before.
Right? Right there. Number 29. Let me make sure the guys have it up. I'm going to post this too so you guys can make sure that you see it. Right? I'm not a nut, you guys. It's right here. Discredit the American founding fathers. Present them as selfish aristocrats who had no concern for the common man. What have we been seeing the last 2-3 years?
Yeah.
Belittle all forms of American culture and discourage the teaching of American history.
Mm-hmm.
Support any socialist movement to give centralized control over any part of the culture, education, social agencies, welfare programs, mental health clinics, etc. Number 32. Am I wrong? Is this wrong in any way? Am I being fucking crazy? I mean, if I am, tell me.
I'd say it's like 80% of this document is happening right now.
It's happening right in front of right under our noses.
Yeah.
Eliminate all laws, procedures which interfere with the operation of a communist apparatus. Okay, I mean, whatever. Eliminate the House Committee on Un-American Activities.
Well, like I said, 80% of this document is happening.
We only got a few more.
Yeah.
Right? Discredit and eventually dismantle the FBI. Number 35 from 1963. Discredit and dismantle the FBI.
Well, that's already happened.
Ready? Infiltrate in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Infiltrate and gain control of more unions. Infiltrate and gain control of big business. Transfer some of the powers of arrest from police to social agencies. Look at number 38.
I know.
Treat all behavioral problems as psychiatric disorders with no one but psychiatrists can understand. What is the common theme of everything going on right now?
Yeah. No, that's
defund the police.
Yeah.
38. Transfer some of the powers of arrest.
Yeah.
Defund the police.
Yep.
Bring on more social workers. Dominate the psychiatric profession and use mental health laws as a means of gaining coercive control over those who oppose communist goals. Discredit the family as an institution. Encourage promiscuity and easy divorce. Emphasize the need to raise children away from negative influences of parents. Attribute prejudices, mental blocks, retarding of children to suppressive influence of parents. Create the impression that violence and insurrection are legitimate aspects of the American tradition. Mm-hmm. Overthrow all colonial governments before native populations are ready for self-government. Internationalize the Panama Canal. We were actually seeing that. Mm-hmm. Repeal the colony reservation of the United States cannot prevent the world court from seizing jurisdiction over domestic problems.
Before the Panama one, what was that again?
Overthrow all colonial governments before native populations are ready for self-government.
Chaz.
Yes. Ayman.
I just thought of just Chaz came to mind.
This isn't from fucking 4chan.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's not the Onion, right?
It's not, dude. If people aren't sharing this shit right now, look at it. Congressional record. There's the appendix. A34, A35, committee goals. It's right there, you guys. It's right under our noses. It's going back to your article.
Yep.
Right there. You know how I know you're so fucking surprised by this? You're not saying much.
No, because
you've never seen that.
No, I've never seen that. That's the thing.
So guys, girls, 1963, this is how foreign regimes are infiltrating the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
Now, this is public.
Yeah.
Imagine what's not.
Oh, I know. I know. That's the thing. I know. It's. I mean,
you're in awe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of like reeling it in. Again, 80% of that document is happening.
The 20% that isn't happening has been adjusted for time and society and all that shit. It's there, you guys.
Yeah, it's there. The playbook is there, and same thing with the with my article, the playbook of the Russian cyber warfare.
Yes,
it's there. You know,
in 1963, they didn't have the cyber asset.
No, that wasn't there.
So that started coming in.
Yes,
and that's how your article relays a little bit more truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, thing is, we've seen this again back in 2005. The internet was still really nothing. Right. 2003, even like I remember, what was it? It was during high school when I got my first internet access. You know, and
remember
it was old
AOL
with the fucking dial.
You've got mail.
Yeah, dial up and all that shit. And exactly, and it was like as it was progressing, and then 2005, I went to war and I came home, and the internet was just moving, lightning quick, like advancing, connecting more people, connecting regimes. Now it's almost as if these regimes don't even need spies anymore to come in. All they need to do is send a couple emails, send a couple bots, send a couple memes or whatever.
I'll tell you, it popped into my head when you said spies.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from an agency was telling me, we were joking and laughing and saying that a lot of the old tactics, like even like, dead drops and fucking like all the sexy old spy shit is coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because the internet is so saturated and so blown open that, like the 9/11 terrorists, for example, they were sending email messages to each other by logging into their account, writing an email, and saving it as a draft. So it never went through the actual internet. Well, that stuff's old.
Well, that's the thing. The Afghanistan, the Taliban, everything they're doing is nothing was electronic.
Exactly.
It was old school warfare.
And think about it. It held back Afghanistan. It held back the Russians, the second, third biggest fucking military on the planet.
Yeah.
For how many years? 20?
Yeah.
It held back the United States, the greatest fucking military force on the planet.
Yep.
People with 50-year-old AKs and fucking sandals.
Yeah. But again, they've been fighting that war, this type of war for thousands of years.
Right.
Even back Alexander, Genghis Khan, here's the thing. History loves repeating itself because that's just the way it is. And you could see the writing on the wall right away. And here's the thing. I was never against going into Afghanistan or Iraq, but what I was against is the prolonging of it. What type of military we are, the type of military we are is we are a hammer. We go in, fuck shit up, see you later.
See you later.
That's all. That's what we needed to do in Afghanistan. A fucking deliberate intense fucking warfare, destroy fucking Al-Qaeda, and that's it.
Again, we have a new president. President Trump, when he went in and started fucking Moabbing the shit out of fucking compounds, what happened to ISIL?
Oh yeah, no. Here's the thing. What I did not like with President Obama's policies with ISIS, it was like the hands-off, Air Force only type approach,
right?
Which does not work. You needed the reason why ISIS got so big, real quick, is we didn't have any boots on the ground. You need boots on the ground to get shit done.
And were they not taking over fucking U.S. military resources that we had abandoned there?
I'll never forget on the news watching them take over a Iraqi/army and police compound that we helped build up, and protect and soldiers died protecting that fucking place. And I'll never forget watching ISIS going over there, taking it over. And I'm like, those motherfuckers. So to me, as a soldier that was there,
it hurts you.
Oh yeah, no, because it's like people died, you know, building that, you know, creating that. And for us, again, I get like, yeah, you know what, we're going to go back again. But here's the thing, that to me, we owed it that much. Like, to me, ISIS was an evil, brutal fucking regime.
Yep.
And they needed to be destroyed. And they need to be destroyed, because if we allowed them to create their caliphate, imagine the amount of terrorism that would increase 10, 20, 30 fold.
Jesus Christ.
With that type of ideology. They were as extreme as it gets.
Now imagine, right? They hired, we all remember seeing some of the ISIL videos, the ISIS videos and all that stuff.
You remember who did the ISIS videos?
Who?
Remember
your buddy,
my old friend.
Right.
He was the producer.
A common guy.
Yeah.
From a certain state.
Yep.
That wasn't like this super sexy fucking scientist, and that. He was really good at fucking editing.
Yep.
And put shit together that when me and you actually looked at him, we're like, oh, that's pretty cool, but it's really fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was still cool.
Yep.
And that infiltrated U.S. people on U.S. soil.
Oh, big time.
Think about that.
Big time. I mean, here again, it's there, guys. Like it's amazing that, to me, you know, when we get the Chads and the Karens complaining about the champagne problems they're having, where, you know, as cops,
champagne problems,
where we have to deal with fucking property disputes, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, there are a lot more important things that we can be doing as police, as military, as a country as a whole.
Yes.
Where we should be looking out for each other, not against each other. You go to any homogenous country, Lebanon, Greece, South Korea, China, whatever. The homogenous population is very much in tune within itself.
Yeah.
They know their next door neighbor. They know this. I mean, I'll go to my village in Lebanon. We know everybody.
And there'll be a party.
No matter what.
Right.
And even if there's a wedding, everyone's invited.
Everyone's invited.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everyone's invited.
Yeah.
Over here, we stay indoors, lock our doors. I don't want to know my next door neighbor. I don't want to know this guy. I could give a fuck about this guy. And it does not surprise us anymore when we go to a house after a fucking homicide next door. Oh, what do you know about him? Oh, I never talked to him.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, really?
We have isolated ourselves.
Yeah.
We've allowed it. And it's
by design.
By design, exactly.
By design.
Think about the opportunity, right? If you're a Russian or you're an enemy of the United States, let's not call just Russia out. Yeah. Russia, China, North Korea, whoever it may be. You're an enemy of the United States.
Yep.
You see everything going on. You see the gullibility of the populace.
Oh, they love it.
They love it. They push it. They push it as much as humanly possible. They create common enemies.
Yep.
Think about what Hitler did.
Yeah.
He created a common enemy. Everybody that's not German is evil. And if you're a Jew, you're evil.
And that wasn't even through computers.
Exactly.
That was word of mouth.
Now think about what else he did when he went in and took over got rid of all the policing and installed the fucking brown shirts.
Yeah.
He got rid of, again, it goes back to the 1963 thing, which 63 to in the 40s and 30s when the Third Reich, it's not that very far off. It's not even a generation.
Yeah.
Right? He controlled the police.
Yeah.
He created fucking a divide and a chasm against the population and the police.
Exactly what the foreign regimes are, and that's what they're doing.
And so, even if terrorism, right, the conceptualized terrorism that we think of, you know, the Middle Eastern guy that wants to blow something up, right? Even if that isn't as bad anymore, because I don't think it is, they're still going to push that it is.
Oh, yeah. No, they're still... here's the thing. Again, let's focus on a different type of enemy rather than us.
Exactly. You're 100% right.
Police are the perfect enemy of the state now.
You're exactly right.
Since when has that happened? Yeah. You know what? We have bad apples and we're dealing with it, and we always dealt with it. And we've, again, as a law enforcement, we've gone back 40 years. You know, because of all this shit that's been going on. And again, people don't realize that us police, we think about all these things. We think about the foreign shit that goes on. Like, there's a lot of factors that go in a police department, in a cop, that people don't realize. They don't see. How many terrorist attacks have we stopped as law enforcement?
Hundreds, maybe thousands.
Like things that people don't even hear about. We've done. I know we've done in our city.
Oh, yeah.
I know you've done in your city.
Oh, yeah.
That never makes the news because we don't want to freak people out.
Yeah.
But it's there. Imagine Times Square. How many NYPD thwarted? That place is one huge spot for the terrorists to fucking hit.
The one good thing with NYPD was after 9/11.
Yeah.
When I forget who it was that came in and took over, he literally modeled the NYPD intelligence unit after the CIA.
Yeah.
And we had police officers, patrolmen in fucking the Middle East.
Oh yeah, no, they set up like offices
everywhere. And they were operating fucking outside it was insane.
But again, people don't know. Listen, again, like I always talk, the hybrid wolves and all that, you have certain police officers in this country that do shit that you would never. ever hear about. You got your traffic units, they'll write the tickets, do whatever. What I call it is you've got the cookie cutter cop.
Yes, right? The template cookie
cop. He or she will do the community service thing. They'll do the traffic stops. They'll do whatever. They'll do the motorcycles, parades, honor guard. It all looks great. But then there's a section of law enforcement that no one will ever hear about.
Deep down,
you'll never hear about. I was a part of that world. You were a part of that world.
Supposedly.
Still part of it. But it is real. It's there. You got again, to the non-cops who listen to us, you just have no idea. And there's a reason why we don't say shit is because you will freak out with the type of shit that we see.
I sometimes let things slip with people that are close to me. Mm-hmm. And it's not like anything like OPSEC, like I've given anything up, but like little comments here and there. And they'll be like, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've done the same.
Like, and I'll tell you one of the stories offline and you'll be like, you'll die laughing. And I remember this person was like, wait, this is in my city? And I'm like, yeah. And you have no idea what's happened with it. Like, it's one of those things, guys, where it comes back to the lack of imagination.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, if you give me a piece of paper that says somebody's going to fly a plane into a building back 2001, I'd say, yeah, that's possible.
You'd say it's possible. But it's funny how the more educated and the smarter and the leaders looked at it and said, we'll never get a box cutter on a plane.
Yeah, okay.
A fly can't fly over the Pentagon without us knowing about it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's that mentality, that complacency that is getting us.
There's a human aspect to everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you want to ruin something, give it to a human being.
There was a famous quote. I forgot who said it back during the Crusade era and all that. And that individual said, religion is flawed because human is flawed.
Yes.
It's that simple. There is such
100%.
There's a human aspect to everything that we do because you know what? We are human. Cops fuck up. Yeah, we're human. Fucking doctors fuck up. Yeah, they're human.
Absolutely.
But the thing is though, these regimes and how they do their cyber warfare, how they push their propaganda, it's all human behavior. They study this shit.
They they implement it.
Yeah, it's like watching. To me, it's like they're watching football. Before a football team plays the opposing team, they watch videos, learning how to plays and all that shit. That's what these foreign regimes do. They watch. They're looking for trends. They look for shit. Exactly.
And we're giving it to them.
We're giving it to them big time.
We're handing it over to them.
Exactly.
For the sake of fucking doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a funny cat video.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that there isn't a role for social media.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean,
the internet.
It's connected me with friends that I haven't talked to in forever and haven't seen since high school. And I mean, it's great. But then, like everything else, there's the bad side to it.
Absolutely.
And people need to realize the bad side to things.
I will give people a little bit of hope. I'm a science geek.
Yeah.
There's emerging technology that's coming out that is going to be replacing the internet really soon. And I don't want to make it sound Chinese to a lot of people, no pun intended, but I don't want to make it sound Chinese to a lot of people. It involves quantum mechanics and quantum science. And there's a big without getting fucking stupid on you guys, there's a big event that has happened in that community that is going to propel the internet into a 1,000 times more secure. So there's hope.
Yeah.
But the problem is damage has been done. It's just kind of like when we talk about the pendulum swinging. We talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The people are starting to wake up against this anti-police and the enough and all that stuff, right? The problem is how much damage is being done on the swing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It swung so bad.
Exactly.
And these regimes took advantage of it, and interest groups and whatever took advantage of it, that, again, it set us back 40, 50 years.
Absolutely.
And it's going to take us double that, 80 to 100 years. We'll be long gone before it actually gets back to a good spot.
I kind of hope that my kids are on another fucking planet by then, dude.
Oh, dude, my kids can go to, I don't know, Mars.
Be
like, dude, go.
Hey, it's going to happen.
Enjoy. Yeah, I know.
I kind of hope it happens in my lifetime.
Elon Musk, get it going, dude.
Dude, talk about balls. This man's like, fuck you, world. I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine where we'd be if we didn't do it. Guys, the Havok Journal has put this article out, right? This is how foreign regimes are infiltrating the U.S. right now. I just put up Congressional record from 1963. Make the connection between the two. Yeah. There's 40 years in between, 40, 50 years in between this shit. You made the statement, Ayman, that we've gone back in policing, what, 40, 50 years?
Oh, yeah.
Make the connection here. Yeah. 2020, 1963.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've gone right back to all this shit.
Yep.
The difference is they didn't realize what kind of assets they were going to have.
Yep.
And this was public communist goals.
Yep.
If you think that these things haven't matured or gotten a lot deeper, then you're fucking nuts.
Here's the thing, so on my article, I've posted, so you can click on all these hyperlinks, and it will take you exactly to these pages,
to the sources
that I talk about. And I really, again, critical thinking, you really need to research and see how our enemies operate, because we need to, again, we study our enemy to know our enemy, just like Joint Chief of Staff recently, I actually heard him talk about, Congress was kind of badgering him about why are you teaching this at West Point, or why are you teaching this at this military academy, whatever. He said, I've read Mein Kampf. I've read Karl Marx. I was like, you need to know how the enemy operates. You need to understand them, right? You need to know what they're thinking. If I'm to not read any of that shit, I'm not going to know.
Of course.
You're
oblivious to it.
Here's the thing. When we were in Iraq, right, Al-Qaeda ideology, all that shit, we used to get videos, training videos and stuff like that, and we'd watch all that shit. And I mean, I had the advantage of being from there, from the Lebanon, and being in the area and knowing the culture and
everything. You were familiar, right?
I was familiar, but then there's things I learned that I'm like, oh, shit, I had no idea, because their ideology is different. But there's nothing wrong with learning the ideology of the enemy so you can better understand and how to respond.
I mean, it gets into the cheesy aspect, right? Where we say it all the time. You got to be the monster.
Well, here's the thing: as undercover, right? Undercover officers, they have to play that role.
You have to think like the monster.
You have to think like the monster. When we were out in Iraq, we had to think like the terrorists to figure out where the next ambush site's going to be. Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
As cops,
how would you do it? How would you this and that?
As cops approaching a house, you have to think, when you're approaching a house on domestic, you have to think how you would attack a police, how you would ambush the cop. Yeah. You have to. And I know a lot of these young cops that listen to us, I hope you're doing it, because you need to have that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
All right. There's nothing wrong with learning about the enemy, because the enemy is learning a lot about us.
There's everything wrong with not wanting to learn about the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either, submit or fucking fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Reagan had said it in one of his best speeches, the whole, submission.
Yep.
People love to get on their fucking knees.
Oh my God, yeah. It's easier.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's easier.
And the man had said it all the time. The appeasement, it was the Reagan's appeasement video, guys, on YouTube. Just YouTube it. Reagan's appeasement video.
Yeah.
If you watch that and you don't say to yourself, and then look at this stuff, the 1963 stuff, and then Ayman's article, and don't say to yourself, holy shit, what have we become?
Mm-hmm.
Then your hole is so far up your butt.
You are.
It's in the hole.
You're in the sand. Your head's in the sand.
Seriously.
So yeah. So that's the article, people. I know we sort of went on rants. This was like another scorched earth type.
Fuck yeah.
Type episode. So this was a good one.
But it was really good. There's nothing that we said that's not fucking out of left field. There's nothing. It's all right there, guys.
Yep. Yep.
It's all fucking right there. Listen, get the word out. We need to get this information out to people. We want to thank our tens of thousands of listeners from all over the world. We want to thank our supporters, HavokJournal.com, GymJunkies.com, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, EagleEyeFirearmsMA.com, ODKit.com, GunTrack.app, Houle-Law.com. Thank you guys. We love you. Stay safe.
Stay sapient.
Woo!